Mr. Bhattacharya, thank you so much for joining with us on ET Now. But let's dive right in and talk about the numbers. So starting with overall, it has been a resilient quarter. Now, what is your take on the results? How can we see that the growth happening in the next few quarters, especially on the margin front, if you could give us your insight? And which segments are showing the highest amount of recovery and which have been outperforming further, which could outperform further?
So thank you very much and for having me on your show. And I'll give you a broad picture first on the automotive market and then come into the Bosch numbers very briefly. So if you look at the automotive market, you have a mixed picture. The past cars there's a pretty high demand. Of course, there's the worldwide semiconductor crisis, and there has been a good offtake in Diwali. Inventories are varying from different customers at the dealer's end. But then if you look at three-wheelers, which has grown, but on a very low base, and shared mobility is yet to come back in a big way, it'll take quite some time. Heavy commercial vehicles are doing better, but on a very low base. You must remember we had touched nearly 5 lakhs in 18-19, and we are likely to be at 250,000, 275,000 in this fiscal. So very mixed bag. Tractors pretty good, and LCV, the demand is coming back, and of course the worldwide semiconductor crisis. Now, in that context, I would say Bosch with 2,918 or let's say 20 crores, which is a turnover increase that we've had, is decent, and revenue from operations improved by about 18%, but our EBIT improved by about 32%, and that was from let's say from 8.4% to 9.4% on EBIT. But very importantly, our PBT for the period was at about 13.6%, and of course PAT at about 12.7%. I would say two things. One, we should not just compare this quarter with the past, because that had the COVID impact even deeper. Second, India has to be careful on the wave 3. Third, the supply chain worldwide on semiconductor, that's going to remain still a challenge. While it's slowly improving, we are far from back to normal worldwide. This is not about India. And fourth, we have to very carefully look in a segmentalized manner linked to the peak of 18-19 and not just quarter on quarter. Overall, under the circumstances, a satisfactory performance by Bosch in this quarter. We expect to meet market demands, in the way the semiconductor suppliers allow us to do that. And in case of aftermarket, right, and we've had an excellent performance.
Right. Good afternoon, Mr. Bhattacharya. This is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. And let's talk actually particularly about what is exactly happening in the electric vehicle space. How actually you see the pickup happening in that kind of product basket. Also, if you could tell us at what CAGR do you see this EV segment or EV product segment basket growing? Also, if I want to add in, I wanted to check with you, what is the current order book size, and also what kind of new orders are you getting right now?
We must understand that, the EV market, if I just take, the pass car, is currently, around 1% of the total market size. So we must keep that in context. The important part is, I think EV is making inroads into India. We anticipate from Bosch that by 2030, EV should be anywhere between, at best 30%, most likely 25%, and IC will still be at 75 to 70%, but more likely 75%. So that's a reality, number one. Second, our company parent has been investing over the last decade and more than 500 million euro every year. Bosch, our parent, is in electrification in every part of electrification, whether be it pass cars, heavy duty, light duty. And we take naturally a lot of support from our parent, and we have put in a project house electrification for the last 4 years. So I'm not privy to share with you information, as always, until it comes in the public domain. We are working with certain customers, and we will continue to work. As and when the volumes pick up, naturally you will see them coming in. In summary, EV is a very important space for the future, starting with two-wheelers, three-wheelers, going into passenger cars, and later, as you've heard, some companies have announced on hydrogen, and therefore hydrogen ICE, and later hydrogen fuel cell for the CV market. However, currently, the volumes are approximately 1% of the total turnover, of the total volumes of passenger cars and utility vehicles. And as and when we, have our customers launching products with our, menu, like we mentioned about Bajaj earlier and TVS, we will keep you updated.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bhattacharya, for joining in with us, giving us a detailed explanation about the EV space as well as the earnings. It's a pleasure having you in the show, sir. And with that, we are going to actually slip into a short break, but we'll be back with more on the other side.